Hello, everyone. This is Adam Pohl, and it's time for another Donny Lind Show presented by Educational Systems Federal Credit Union. The Mount able to split 2 games last week, a loss against Quinnipiac, a win on winter homecoming against Ryder. We'll look back at those two and then look ahead at a big week to come. Mount St. Mary's on national TV Friday night at 8 against St. Peter's, and then home to take on Manhattan in their lone meeting of the year against the Jaspers Sunday at 2. The Donny Lind Show starts now. Hello once again, everyone. Alongside Donny Lind, my name is Adam Pohl. This is our Donny Lind Show presented by Educational Systems Federal Credit Union. Well, Coach Lind, it was an exciting snowy weekend here in Emmitsburg. We're going to get into your shoveling here in just a bit. But last week was interesting because this was a big opportunity on winter homecoming to bounce back after a tough performance against Quinnipiac. The game against Ryder was a big one. You guys fell behind early, came back, and had a great showing in the last 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I thought we stayed resilient. We were able to put together a pretty consistent defensive effort. Even though they made some shots early in the game that kind of helped them build a little bit of a lead. I thought our defensive effort and intensity was pretty consistent throughout, and then really was able to wear them down over the course of the game. We played pretty well for the majority of the game, and able to stretch it out to a double-figure win.
You're a team that loves to play inside out offensively against Quinnipiac. We saw Luke McKeldin lead the team in scoring. But boy, the guards came alive against Ryder. And it was so great to see Xavier Lipscomb set a career high and Orlandis Keys really keep it rolling.
Yeah, other teams know that we want to play inside out too. And, Ryder did a really good job at trying to frustrate our post players, bringing a double team whenever they got the ball, play in the zone to try to keep the ball out of their hands. And, I thought our bigs, Luke and Trey and Justin, they did a great job not getting frustrated with the way that they were being guarded. And then, when they had an opportunity, taking it, but not forcing bad shots. A lot of guys who with less maturity might be like, oh man, I haven't got a shot. I need to force one up. And we consistently made the right play down low, which resulted in our guards, getting great looks from the perimeter or getting opportunities to drive and slash to the basket. And, that's the thing that I love about our team. I think, our teams are always going to be that way. And that's that we're not going to be a team that relies on one guy to score 25 a night. As much fun as it is to be that guy who scores 25 a night, the other, 13 or 14 guys don't always enjoy playing that way. And I tell our guys in recruiting all the time that, if I was playing, I would never have been the guy to score 25 a night. So I don't want to have a team that I wouldn't have wanted to play on. And so our depth and the ability that, today, Saturday wasn't Luke's day, but he knows and trusts that there's a day coming that will be his day.
Yes.
And, even though, the guards got the shine making shots against Ryder, they also know that there's a day coming that they're going to be able to pound that thing inside to our bigs, and that our bigs are going to carry us. And that depth and that ability to have multiple guys that can get you double figures, I think helps us a lot in the long run.
No doubt about it. And now, obviously, you guys have been able to build your way back. 5-6 in the league after starting 0-2, and then, of course, being 2-5 at one point. This was an incredibly important stretch of the season, trying to put yourself into this position, and you've got to be proud that you've been able to do so.
Yeah, the beginning of January wasn't exactly, how we dreamed it up. At the beginning, the first, 2 months of the season wasn't, when we're sitting in the summer making our plans for how the year's going to go. It doesn't always go how you dream about it. And, the teams that continue to get better. And that was the thing that I thought we did a great job of throughout the year, from, the first game in November to now, and can hopefully continue over the next month, is that we've maintained a focus on improving. Mm-hmm. And if we can improve and get better, then we'll be able to play really good basketball down the stretch. And, I thought this last couple weeks have shown that. Was it perfect? No, we didn't play great in a couple of those games, but for the most part, we've shown improvement and have continued to get better, and are putting ourselves in a position where we have some confidence and we have the ability to go out there, and we know we can compete every night. We know that we have enough talent. We play together. We defend and rebound. We have enough that we can compete every night with anybody in this league, and that gives you a sense of readiness for whoever you got in front of you.
I thought the rebounding stood out against Ryder after the initial stretch of the game. To be able, I know the overall numbers, pitted it pretty even, but it was so important to make them one and done. And you had some role players that stepped up in that regard as well. A player like Yahya Diop, who was getting on the glass a little bit more. And that's another thing. It really kind of feels like people are starting to settle into roles.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it a few weeks ago. This is something that we hope would have happened in November or December, where guys settle into roles. But I'd rather it be now than never. Yes. And so guys are starting to figure out where they fit in and what they do best, and that's what we ask. Your role is not a limiting factor for our guys, but it's what the number one thing the team needs from you. Mm-hmm. And these guys understand that we need to find ways to score the ball, and that doesn't mean I score every time, but it means I have my head up and I see what the play to be made is, and if it's for me, great. If it's for somebody else, great. And so we're starting to settle into those things. Guys are understanding that I love to score the ball as much as anybody, but for us to be a great team, we have to defend and rebound every night. Mm-hmm. And that gives you a chance to win on days when the ball's not going in, on days when, the other team, makes, is guarding also. When you defend and rebound, you give yourself a chance to win. And so we're buying into that. We're settling into that. We've got to continue to improve. We've got to continue to guard a little bit better. We got to rebound a little bit better. Yeah, it was even, but, Ryder got too many second chance opportunities, even though they maybe didn't cash them all in. As you look ahead and you go down the rest of the season, if we can be a dominant rebounding team, that can give us a huge advantage as we lean into February and get into the end of the season.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more of the Donny Lind Show. We've got a lot upcoming, including a talk about what is coming up this week, St. Peter's and Manhattan on the docket. We're back with more right after this.
The time has come. The steak and cheese sandwich is back at Roy Rogers. Savory or spicy, make it yours with your favorite fixins. Go big and upgrade to a large drink and holster fry for the full cowboy experience. Get it while you can. Steak and cheese is here for a limited time only. See you soon at Roy Rogers.
We welcome you back to the Donny Lind Show, presented by Educational Systems Federal Credit Union. My name is Adam Pohl, joined by Mount Guard Anthony Arrington. Anthony, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Can't complain.
Good. You got to talk to us a little bit about your history of basketball, the decision here to come to the Mount this season, and the opportunity that has been provided to you. How did you make the decision, and have you enjoyed your time here at the Mount so far?
Yeah. I made that decision after I entered the portal, and just hearing from different schools. This was the coaches, the best relationship, and they clicked like right away. Like all the coaches, even Coach Lind, Coach Keefe, who I was talking to the most. They just are like great people overall, and just were real personable. So it made the transition easy.
How have you enjoyed? I don't know if this is a good week to ask this question with all this snow on the ground, but how have you enjoyed the community, playing in front of the crowds, things like that here at Knott Arena?
Nah, it's been cool. It's been a great experience. I feel like Knott fans are amazing. We have a great atmosphere while we're playing, and the snow is a little bummer, but actually it looked cool outside, but it don't feel good. It's cold. A little chilly here in Emmitsburg. Now, it's always hard when you have an injury coming into the season. Your team, you were kind of indicative in a way of many players. It wasn't just you. Obviously, K-Bay was out for the majority of the preseason. A lot of the freshmen, other players and such, weren't able to practice as they would leading into the year. How tough was that for the team in totality to overcome? And I feel like it's only been here in the last few weeks where you guys have kind of gotten into a rhythm in playing together as a team. Yeah. It was really tough because I think going into the season, like it was maybe about 5 or 6 games in, we haven't had like the full team at practice. Like somebody was hurt, somebody was out. So, I mean, obviously that's tough, but we got great players, so we know how to make things happen. But it's been great to have everybody back and us trying to get in the rhythm and build that team chemistry with everybody.
A lot of programs are kind of known for recruiting certain types of players. Here, this Mount team, I feel like almost every player has a different skill set. Is that neat to have so many players that bring different things to the table?
For sure. I think the coaches were intentional when they did that, bringing different players with different skill sets so that they can all come together and just create this great team. And I think they've done a great job of us putting the pieces together.
Now, for you, your defense has really stood out. So many people, when they talk about defense, they're always talking about the big men, right? They're talking about the guys that protect the rim, get the rebounds, get the blocks. But when you were able to come in here maybe a month or so into the season, it really seemed that the defensive aptitude, the ability to shut the other team down, was stepped up to another level this year. Is defense a talent, or is it a mindset, or is it both?
I feel like defense is something that you can control. So you can be talented, Kebe. He's talented. He's gifted with a long wingspan. But even for me, not that tall, like your average height in college basketball. It takes heart. It takes a little talent, but it is a mindset as well. Like, you can't win games without playing defense. So, and that's the only way you'll get on the floor is if you play defense. So it's very important. So I take pride in that.
And, I'm thinking about games like on the road against Canisius and Niagara, at home, homecoming game against Ryder, where it did seem to have a cumulative effect. The type of aggressive defense you played, the length of the floor, man-to-man, might not have shown in the first 10 minutes, but it really showed in the last 10. Do you take a lot of pride in that?
Yes, sir, for sure. I feel like over time, it just wears a team down. You can get under their skin, and overall, it'll help you get the team goal, which is getting a win. That's what we did at Canisius and Niagara.
Now, your injury, we don't want to talk specifics, obviously, but obviously you have had to battle with an injury that affects your shooting hand, wrist area, arm area. It's kind of unique to try to play college basketball, through that. What has that been like? Obviously, from a pain tolerance standpoint, it's one thing, but has it been frustrating, to not be 100% in that avenue? And more importantly, has that led you to try to focus on other aspects of the game to give back to the team?
Yeah, it's definitely been frustrating, because I feel like I'm a great shooter, and battling my shooting hand bothering me, it's tough. But, I just trust in God and keep working, and I know that the time will come, but it does lead you to focus on more things like getting to the basket, getting your teammates involved, just doing controlling what you can control is what I say. And even when the shot's not falling or it don't feel right, there's so much you could do on the basketball court to impact winning. So that's what I try to focus on, and I feel like the rest will just follow.
And lastly, has it always just been basketball for you? Was that always your number one sport? When did you really know? It's so hard to be a Division I basketball player. When did you know this was possible?
Well, I knew, I say middle school, 8th grade going into high school. My high school year, I think I had 30 my first game, varsity as a freshman, and I was from there. I just felt like, the sky's the limit.
Yes. Well, that is great, Anthony. Thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck to you. This is the most important time of the year here at Mount St. Mary's.
Thank you so much.
All righty, we're going to take a quick break. When we return with Coach Lind, we're going to look forward. The Mount's going to be on national TV against St. Peter's, then coming home to take on the Jaspers of Manhattan. We'll talk about that right after this. Welcome back to the Donny Lind Show, presented by Educational Systems Federal Credit Union. Now let's look ahead. We are now firmly in the second half of MAC play. It happens quickly, Coach, but this is what you're building for all year. We talked about it previously, about growing into these roles, but it's so important to be playing your best basketball right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The second half of the league, is really where a lot of the times the separation happens,
Yes.
you know, and like every team, obviously you're fighting to make sure you make the tournament and then fighting to hopefully get a bye in the first round, you know, the top 6. And so, you know, everybody's kind of got the same goals. You know, you want to win the league, right? You also want to make sure that you get a bye, right? You want to make sure you make the tournament. And so, you know, for all of us, you know, it is, these games come down to such slim margins. You know, there's so, every play, every possession is so valuable. And that level of attention to detail and that level of focus by the players, by the coaches, by everybody involved is so magnified as you get into February.
And Mount fans, the tickets for Atlantic City are on sale now. So take a look at that as they have gone on sale this week for the upcoming MAC tournament here for 2026. I'll tell you this, though. It's hard to believe for me. I mean, only 4 home games remain. One of them is this week. But before that, you're going to head up to St. Peter's. St. Peter's has had an outstanding conference schedule season so far. And for the Peacocks, one of their only defeats was to the Mount here at Knott Arena. Kind of a neat showcase, first time in conference play in the MAC that the Mount's going to play on national television. It's going to be on ESPNU, 8 o'clock Friday night. It's going to be nice to be under those bright lights.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, part of the reason that, you know, these guys play college basketball and part of the reason that, you know, we do everything that we do are for nights like Friday, right? Where you get to showcase, you know, the Mount on your chest in front of a national TV audience, to put all that work on display for all the eyes to see, and that'll be fun. You know, it'll be obviously a really competitive game. 2 teams that play extremely hard, physical. It's not always the prettiest when we battle out with St. Peter's, but it's a fun game, and you know, to get to play that game on national TV, that the MAC picked that game to be our game of the week this week is awesome, and it's a great opportunity for our program.
Yeah, matchup of the last 2 champions in the MAC conference. And then Sunday, it's an afternoon game, 2 p.m. tip, as Manhattan will come. They're one of the 4 teams that you only play one time this year. You will not go to Manhattan, but they're going to come here to Knott Arena. And they also, you know, they bring a different style of basketball, of course, than St. Peter's brings, but it's going to be nice to have a weekend game here at home.
Always is. And I know Coach Gallagher will be excited. He's spent a lot of time at the Mount in his life. You know, he's got a lot of family that's gone here, and you know, he always talks about his fond memories as coming up here as a kid and going to the grotto. And so,
yes,
you know, when he comes back here, he's highly motivated to get a win here in Knott Arena. So it'll be that'll be another good game. Obviously, to be able to play in front of our fans at home on a weekend afternoon is always great. You know, we've done a great job this year at having, you know, our home court advantage and having a great crowd there, and hopefully that can continue this weekend.
And on Sunday afternoon, we're going to honor the wife of the longtime great Mount coach Jim Phelan, Dottie Phelan. I'm telling you, she is such a spirit, such a personality, the kind of energy she still has. She lights up a room. She's in her 90s. It's going to be a wonderful day to pay tribute to somebody that means so much to our Mount family.
Yeah, absolutely. To get to honor Dottie on that game. And, you know, she's meant a lot to me and my family, you know, as we have come here, and she's taken us in and, you know, tries to be a uplifting spirit for us throughout the season, and, you know, teaching my wife about being the coach's wife. And,
yes.
You know, and she takes such pride in having that honor here at the Mount for so long. And, you know, it'll be great to honor her. I'm sure it's probably not her favorite day to have the lights on her, but, you know, she's got such a giving heart. It'll be great to get to honor her.
There's going to be, you know, it's funny because we just had homecoming last week, but there are going to be, you know, probably 50 to 80 former players and family and such that are going to be here for Dottie Phelan Day, which really means a lot to have everybody back here at Knott Arena. Lastly, everybody's been asking, inboxes being blown out, how has Coach Lind done getting rid of the snow? You had to practice on Monday, right? I mean, we got hit hard here.
Absolutely. You know, we got out there, we shoveled. It was my workout for 2 days,
yes.
Monday and Tuesday to finish it, to get my wife and I's cars clear and get us out. But, you know, we were able to dig out, thankfully. You know, the facilities here at on campus. The people who work there
Yes.
have done an unbelievable job
Amazing.
at getting the campus ready and back. We missed less than a day and a half of class, and we've been able to really have business as usual. And so, maybe our guys would have liked an extra day of no class, but for us, we understand that we got to kind of keep things moving, and they've done a great job. The people who work and work tirelessly to keep this campus running have done a great job. And
how did they do it?
We're rolling.
I look like folks I played 15 years in the NFL after basically shoveling out a small driveway. I have no idea how they pulled this up for the whole campus. It really is something. Well, thank you so much, Coach, and we wish you all the best here this week.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, that's another edition of the Donny Lind Show presented by Educational Systems Federal Credit Union. Once again, the Mount at home this Sunday, 2 p.m. start, taking on Manhattan. Get your tickets at mountathletics.com. Have a great week, everyone.